Welcome back. There's two ways to wage a jihad. One is with bombs and guns. The other, probably smarter way, is through lawyers. I'm talking about lawfare. And joining me now live from New York City is Brooke Goldstein, the director of the Lawfare Project. Brooke, thanks for coming back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, you saw the basic facts of our situation, a pro-oil sands oil ad criticizing the Saudi ethics has been bullied off the air in Canada, at least on one network, CTV. They've threatened others. They've even threatened me and other left loyal website. Is this a dictionary definition of lawfare?
It is. I think it is a perfect example of the manipulation of a legal system or legal processes, which is what the cease and desist letter is, to silence and to punish free speech about Islamism, about terror financing, and obviously about issues of national concern. And this is exactly what this is, an issue of national concern. Canadians have a right to know where their money is going and what the ethical alternatives are. And this is also an attack directly on Alberta oil workers, on the field workers there, because the ad is supporting their work.
Now, what's funny about this, I mean, I've been the victim of lawfare before when the Danish cartoons of Mohammed, a radical Muslim preacher, went after me, but at least he was doing so openly. Brooke, what's fascinating about this case is that the Saudi lawyers at Norton Rose, they confess that they're sending these threatening letters out, but they will not show us the letters. They say that's none of your business, but they continue to terrify broadcasters. Is this the first time you've seen lawfare being admitted to, but the actually threatening letters being kept secret?
Look, I think the irony abounds. I'm not quite sure, but according to your attorney, I saw a couple emails go back and forth. You actually have a right under Canadian law to view this letter. But think about it from this perspective. The Saudis are members, current members of the Human Rights Council. They're signatories to the Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women, but they're blatantly going around violating international law and trying to shut people up who are talking about it. And think of the slippery slope that this is going to create if indeed they are successful and people like CTV, as I understand it, are now capitulating. And this is an absolutely frivolous claim. We have journalists writing about issues like this every day. Are they now going to be silenced? We have a UN representative, her name is Catherine Ashton, that recently, this past July, wrote a letter to women in Saudi Arabia supporting their right to drive. Is she now going to be silenced? It's absolutely outrageous.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the actual facts of the ad are rock solid. The ad, if you've seen it, actually footnotes where the information comes from. Let me get to an area of your expertise. You've been working on this lawfare file in New York for years. What is the solution, Brooke? I mean, I've been complaining and we've been telling this story because it's important to know what the facts are. But now that we know what the facts are, we know what the Saudis are up to, we see the bullying, we have proof of it. What do we do about it, Brooke?
Well, there's 2 points there that I want to touch on. Number one, you are absolutely correct. Every single thing that is mentioned in this ad is true. And I'm going to go one step further. Saudi Arabia violates the rights of homosexuals. In 2005, over 92 men were arrested for the crime of homosexuality. They routinely violate the rights of children. They teach children in their schools that Christians and Jews and infidels are the enemy of Islam and they must be killed and destroyed. And they are a state sponsor of terrorism. They are guilty of aiding and abetting the premeditated murder of innocent civilians around the world. What is the solution? The solution is not to capitulate. I commend your bravery and the bravery of the producers at Sun TV who are continuing to air this ad. And I encourage the people who are watching this program to post the ad on Facebook, post it on Twitter. Let's get it viral. Let's spread it out there and show the Saudis that we are not intimidated by these types of empty legal threats.
That's a good court of public opinion response, like a public political response. But what should the Canadian government do, if anything? I think at the very least, our government should condemn this and maybe summon the Saudi ambassador and give him a talking to, preferably by a woman bureaucrat. What do you think the government of Canada should do, Brooke?
100% the government should condemn this activity, and there should also be an investigation into the ethical obligations of a law firm like Norton Rose that is threatening Canadian citizens, threatening to violate their free speech rights. As I understand it, there are contractual obligations right now that are also being violated. I think that we have to go on the offense. I think that attorneys for your site, for example, should be investigating their practices.
Brooke Goldstein, the Lawfare Project. We've got to leave it there. Thank you for joining us from New York. You've got a lot of experience in lawfare, and unfortunately, I'm getting some experience in the matter too.